Hare Krishna. So
Hare.
we are continuing on our Sravan Utsav again today. And we have done Prabhuji's introduction yesterday. So I will not spend more time on that today. And we will directly go on to the lecture part so that we can hear more from Prabhuji. Yesterday, Prabhuji explained very nicely about the pastime of Pralambasur and the practical aspects, how Pralambasur is representing envy and how we can overcome it, and how it is representing Puja Labh and Pratishtha. So very nicely Prabhuji explained all of those points. And today Prabhuji is going to take the next chapter about the forest fire. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. And we welcome you all by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra once again. So let's chant all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna.
many years ago, I was in Vrindavan when His Grace Aindra Prabhu was there. And I used to sit in his kirtans by his side and listen, sometimes a few hours. So one day, he told us that today I'm going to sing a tune which the cowherd boys sing. This is the raga in which the cowherd boys are calling Krishna and in the forest of Vrindavan. So I listened to that tune very well and I really loved it. So why I thought I will sing it today? Because we are in Bandiravat and all the cowherd boys are carrying one another on their shoulders and they're all with Krishna, and now Pralambasur is killed now. So we will sing this tune. You all can repeat after me. Okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Shyam, Jaya Jaya Radhe, Jaya Jaya Sri Vrindavan Dham, Nittai Gauranga, Jaya Nittai Gauranga, Nittai Gauranga, Jaya Nittai Gauranga. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura, Hari Bol. Kaliga Pavana Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Srila Prabhupada ki Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. So I'll take the chapter from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I have some very beautiful verses which I feel one particular verse for today's session will be very meaningful. I'll recite that verse, okay? So this is the 18th chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we discussed yesterday. Pradambasur was slayed by Lord Balram. And after that, something interesting happens. Generally you find, imagine in a city or somewhere, if a very big demon was just killed, who is lying like several miles long, there will be such a great news, there will be curfew or something put up. Just like when there were some terrorist blasts that happened in Bombay city. Immediately there was a curfew put up for, a few days until the terrorists were captured or something. So I was just thinking how the cowherd boys are so confident in the presence of Krishna and Balaram that the kill the demon was just lying in front of them. And immediately they started playing. That's what you will read in the next verse here. I'll show you that verse. It is 10.19.1. See the cover. Vacha Kridasakteshu gopeshu tadgavo duracharini swairam charantyo vivashus trinalobhena gahvaram. He says, you can see the verse here, isn't it? So he says that Kridasakteshu gopeshu. So Kridasakta means the boys were attached to playing. Why? Because they were attached to Krishna and Krishna was playing. So they were also attached to playing. Actually, the boys have nothing to give and take with the play if Krishna is not there. Like devotees are interested in Kurukshetra battle. Why? Why are they not interested in World War I or World War II or Battle of Panipat? So many battles, but Vietnam War or anything. Devotees are only interested to read about Kurukshetra battle because Krishna is there. So wherever Krishna is not there, devotees have nothing, no business to go there. Nothing to do. So here, the cowherd boys were attached to playing because they were attached to Krishna. And they were attached to seeing Krishna playing, so they also were eager to play. And at that time, what happened? Tad gavu duracharini, he says. The cows at that time wandered far away. I will show you the picture, it will be very clear. See, this I showed you yesterday. This is the Paramabhasra killed. See, the cows at that time, they are also in that remote jungle, you can see. Duracharini. Why Duracharini? Why did they go so far? You may have a question. That is explained in the next verse here. In the same verse. It says, Swairam charantyo vivishuhu. Swairam means independently. Charanti means grazing, the grass. Vivishuhu means enter. They entered into that forest. It was actually a bamboo forest. Tall bamboos had grown very, very high, sky high. And Trinalobhena gahvaram, he says here. The line, last line. Trina means grass, Lobhena means greed. Gahvaram means forest. Actually, the cows had eaten the grass and they were actually satisfied. Just like imagine you finished your lunch prasad just now. Your stomach is full. But somebody brings something like a crackjack biscuits, In a crackjack biscuit in India, crackjack means it's a salty biscuit. It has got some holes. It is very crispy. Somebody comes and gives you, oh, I didn't know you finished your lunch. I have a packet of crackjack. Would you like to have? People say, oh, you're giving with so much love. How can I say no? Please give it. And people eat it. This is called greed. Greed means our stomach is not hungry. Our mind is hungry. So what is the problem with mental hunger? When our mind gets hungry, it's a serious problem in this world because when we go from need to greed, we have to bleed. That is the way this world is created. Need is not bad, but greed is bad. Because greed causes bleed. I'll give you a couple of examples. You will immediately appreciate this point. In India, there is a village called Belgaum, where His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj lives. In that village, they have this sugarcane fields. Initially, they made sugarcane fields, but they saw that as the sugarcane grows very big, these big elephants come from the forest and they completely empty the sugarcane fields. They pull it all out and they break it and they eat it. And what you have grown for 6 months, it's all finished. So then what they did, they put barbed wires on all the four sides. Barbed wire is a steel wire with 2 stone pillars. Now the elephant came from the forest and it went round and round, and all four sides there is barbed wire. He just couldn't. He was very eager. Yeah, actually, he gets enough grass in the forest, tons of grass. There is no dearth of grass. He can actually eat grass and be happy. But he wants honey. He wants to taste that sugar cane. So he is not satisfied with the food arranged in the forest. So what this elephant would do, it would sit in between two vertical stone pillars, where the barbed wire would be there. And it would do like this, It would pull like this. It would do like sit on the ground and do like this. When you do and keep on bending it, he would bend the stone practically almost flat. And then he would cross over the barbed wires. But because he was doing this, his back would be very bloody. Because blood would ooze out from his back. And he does all this. Why? He has to get the sugar cane. You see. And then when he is crossing the barbed wires and going, the legs also will get scratched by those steel wires. And he would bleed also. He would scream also. But when he would scream due to bleeding, and he's eating the sugar cane, people would hear the sound. They would come with sticks and drive away the elephant. Maybe he can eat a little bit. He can eat a few pieces of sugar cane, he can steal. When many men come to attack him, he will run away. So now, this elephant, if he was satisfied with the God-given food in the forest, he won't have to bleed. But he wasn't satisfied. Therefore, he was bleeding. Similarly, you will find the fishes in the ocean get abundant food, actually. Krishna is so kind for every living being. He has arranged some simple food. But if you want opulent food, then you'll have to work hard. Simple food you easily get anywhere. See, the fish gets so many food inside the ocean. But the fish comes to the surface where he finds a fisherman is putting a meaty bait. When he tries to capture it, he loses his life. You will see that. Therefore, I told you, when you go from need to greed, we have to bleed. And it is true even for devotees. Sometimes devotees are not satisfied with simple lifestyle. Yes, a reasonable size house, a simple dress, simple prasadam, and husband, wife, children are engaged in Krishna consciousness. Actually, you need very little money to run a family like that. But if you want a lavish life, if you want to impress the relatives and friends, if you want to impress our world around us, then your life cannot be simple. You have to show what type of big car I have, what type of big palatial house I have, what type of costly dress we wear, what type of costly food we eat, what type of acquaintances we have. Then actually life becomes very challenging and we have to join the rat race with the non-devotees. Then we have to bleed. Nayam deho dehabadandaloke kashtan kaman arhate vidubujamya, like that Rishabhadev says. Then we have to bleed. Therefore, even as devotees, it is in our interest to have a very good spiritual focus. So those people who have a very good spiritual focus, their minds are very calm, like a clean lake. Like a clear lake, if you see, you can even see the pebbles below. The water is crystal clear. The swans live there in such a lake. And they are also very peaceful and happy. You have seen in New Vrindavan, there are 2 swans which will be swimming in that lake beautifully. So they live in clean atmosphere like that. On the other hand, a person whose mind is filled with fruity mentality of comparison. Oh, their son has, gone to that big university, so I have to put my son also. Oh, they have got that size house, I should have that size house. Oh, they have got a bigger car, I should get a bigger car. People actually look at others and they want to imitate. That's how they become greedy and they make unhealthy comparisons. And then due to that, life becomes very challenging. And that's called greed. So here he says the word lobhena, you see here, trina lobhena. Trina means grass, lobhena means greed. Yes, it was greed for them. Why? Earlier the grasses that were available to them, the cows ate. And the stomach was full. Now when they looked at the forest, they saw long grasses. Tall grasses grown, very big size. And they saw from a distance. And they looked at each other, wow, look at that forest, look at that big bamboo forest. We never saw those grasses and they look lushy green. Let's go there, come. And they all started moving in that direction. At that time, the cowherd boys were attached to playing with Krishna. They were all playing. And one very important lesson for us, even though we may be attached to rendering devotional service, we also have to be conscious that our senses are uncontrolled in our conditioned stage. Actually, when you talk about Gavo Dura Charini, cow is also called with the word go. Go seva, we say, no? Go means cow. So the go also means earth. Go also means senses. Our senses are also called as go. So therefore, when you talk about Gavo Dura Charini, sometimes we are trying to be Krishna conscious in our sadhaka stage. Suddenly, unexpectedly, our senses go to some wrong direction. They become greedy. Like for example, we may sometimes end up overeating on a festival day. And then we may be knocked down to sleep instead of doing any service. In the same manner, sometimes we may be preaching. In the name of preaching to somebody, we may become attached to them. And we may become attached to their praising us, they are taking shelter of us, and we may become, like for example, between genders, people should be very careful. Like one gentleman was taking care of one lady and her son, small son. But that lady's husband was a little cruel man. He was not a devotee. So he would mistreat her by slapping and all that. So she was crying. So this man told her, "Oh, you are crying. You are so much suffering. Don't worry. You come to my home with your child. We have a bigger house. We have 3 BHK. You can stay in one room," like that he said. Then when she came with her son to the house, this gentleman's wife, she became annoyed. She said, "How dare you call her to come and stay in our house? She's not a blood relative. And she is one of our devotees in the community. You are asking her to come and stay here. You are not her protector. Her protector is her husband. How can you call her to come and stay here?" So he said, "See, my heart was feeling pain to see that she's suffering. I thought she's just like she's like your younger sister. Why don't you accommodate her here?" She said, "No, people will talk ill of you. People will say that you are bringing another woman in your house like a second wife. People will say." So when a husband is not giving proper shelter, she should go to her mother's home. That is Vedic life. Actually, her father is her protector. Next to her father, her husband is a protector. If husband is not protecting, she should go to her father's home. Her wife advised suitably. Then the next day, he told her that you should go to your parents' home. Even though Krishna consciousness may be difficult for you in your parents' home, it's far away, but that's what you should do. And she also agreed. But why I am telling you this? Sometimes we may behave erratically in Krishna consciousness due to our attachments, mental attachments. And that is also the same meaning. Swairam charantyo vivishuhu. Swairam means we act independent of the Shastra, independent of what Guru would want us to do. Fortunately, this preacher, his wife was an intelligent lady. So she gave him a suitable advice. She told him a correct advice according to Shastra. He was saved. Otherwise, you picture is in your mind, he allowed this lady to come to his house and live, and his wife is also living. And her husband comes to pick up a fight. How are you allowing my wife to live in your house? You can understand how much problems can come because of this. And it can become a scene, you see. So later on, this man detected in his own heart that I was developing some attachment to that woman, more than my wife also. It was inappropriate. Good that I didn't allow that, you understood. So we all have to see, we have attachment to food, attachment to members of opposite sex, we have attachment to our worldly successes, we have attachment to accumulating worldly things, we have attachment to sleeping more, we have attachment to prajalpa. So these are all attachments which actually take us away from Krishna. Therefore, these are called asat cheshta. There's a sat cheshta, asat cheshta. Asat cheshta means endeavor, erratic endeavor. That means endeavor for dead things of the world, which are actually not going to add any value in our Krishna consciousness. For example, first 2 verses of Nectar of Instruction teach us about asat cheshta. Vacha vegam, manasa vegam, krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udara vegam, vasta vegam. And second verse, atyahara prayasa prajalpa niyama grajana sangha. Those things, laulyam. Those 12 items are called useless futile efforts in life. If you are doing any of them, we should reduce and gradually nullify. And Satcheshta means the third verse, third and fourth verses. Utsaha nishtaya dhairya tatatvam pravartanat sangatyaga sattvavrute. And the fourth verse is the dadati pratigranati guhyamakhyati prachit, those things. So we can do those two. Those are very, very fruitful endeavors in Krishna consciousness. So we should always be thinking what will contribute to Krishna consciousness, what will not contribute. So here, this is what happened to them. Trinalo vena gahvaram. See, they're entering into the forest. And here the point is Svairam. That's the problem. Svairam means independently. This is the problem. Like, 16th chapter, last verse says, Yash shastra vidimutsrajya vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukam na param gatim. Krishna says, Yash shastra vidimutsrajya. If somebody gives up the shastric injunctions, vartate kamakaratah. Kamakarta is Svairam, same word. Meaning is, and somebody acts independently. Kamakarta. Nasa siddhim avapnoti. They will not become happy even in this world. Na sukam na param gatim. They will neither attain perfection, they will not be happy in this world, not in that world, he says. That means the independent mentality devotee is called bhinna drik, separatist mentality. They will never be happy actually. Sometimes while living in a devotee community, people actually turn away from authorities, people turn away from friends, people even turn away from their family members. They fight with everybody and thinking that I am right, others are wrong. Finally, they find out that I have nobody around me, I am alone. And they fight within their own mind also. Finally, sometimes people go and commit suicide also. So actually, this Bhinnadrik or separatist mentality of doing independently is a very bad propensity in Vaishnava lifestyle. Actually, we should, in Vaishnava's life, we should learn the art of doing things together with Vaishnavas. Like, for example, come to the temple once in a week at least. Attend the classes with Vaishnavas, take prasadam with Vaishnavas, and also offer some monetary contribution to the local project, local temple. And also start reading groups amongst devotees, 5 or 6 devotees, even online, come together. Because parasparanakatanam pavanam bhagavad yashaha mito ratir mitastushtis nivrittir mita atmana. That verse says that parasparanakatanam means when devotees come together and do discussion of Bhagavatam with each other, we should not talk too much. We should 75% read Prabhupada purport, 75 to 80%. 20-25% we can discuss. By that, Prajalpa can be avoided. And Bhagavatam reading will happen more. And when Bhagavatam sings in the heart, deep satisfaction will come. Fulfillment, satisfaction. Now, Tushti, he says, Mito Ratir, devotees will develop love for each other. Mita Tushti, they will feel satisfaction. Nivrittir, they will develop detachment from matter, material world. Nivrittir mita atmana. It's a beautiful verse it is. So, in this way, but if you become independent, even if you are a senior devotee, if you become independent, actually seniors, as I was telling yesterday also, it's like an apex in a pyramid. We become independent, we'll feel little loneliness at the top if you are alone. So we need friends even after spending 5 years, 10 years, 20 years also. We need friends with whom we can study Bhagavatam together. The best way to come together with other devotees is not to come together for empty talk, because ordinary talk will lead to fault finding, blasphemy and other things. Best is to put Bhagavatam in the middle. Discuss Bhagavatam with devotees and make it a policy that 75% of the time we will be reading Bhagavatam. Just read and hear, and then 25% discussion. So in this way, Svairam is a very important word. Svairam charantyo vivishus. Independently the cows, that's what I showed you in the picture. If you see here, by the picture you can easily see they have come to the remote jungle. The trees are all barren, you see. It's a bamboo forest. And the grass was tall grass, so they came there. So they are all watching. Suddenly the cows are looking up, see what happened to them. Oh, there's a fire at the top, they're watching. They have come in the middle of that forest, surrounded by tall trees all around. And now they don't know how to get out of the forest. The fire is spreading fast, like you see here. At that time, the coward boys were coming to Vandarviti playing the game, isn't it? So now let us see what happened further. Let us see these verses. Adagavo mahishyascha nirvishantyo vanatmanam ishika tavin nirvivishuhu krandantyo davatarshitaha. Correct. So when they entered that, it's called as Ishikatavi. That's the name of the forest. Ishikatavi forest. Nirvivishuhu. When they entered that forest, krandantyo means they cried out loudly, the cows. So why they cried? Because of Dava. Means there is a forest fire. So they all, Tarshitaha, they were all very thirsty. Yeah. So they were all weeping and crying loudly because they suddenly realized that they have become alone now. Te pashyantah pashun gopaha Krishna Ramadayastada Jata Anutapana Vidur Vichinvanto Gavam Gatim. Now, suddenly, the cowherd boys also realized that the cows are missing. We are playing and playing and playing. The cows are missing. And Balaram and Krishna and all the cowherd boys suddenly felt repentant that we got too much absorbed in our play and we have neglected. Our parents will be very annoyed. Because here comes another interesting point. In this world, we all have a responsible duty, but we also have a tendency for having some, to play something. Like children want to play with toys, isn't it? And when one becomes youngsters, then one doesn't like to only study. One wants to join some sports club, and one wants to join some other clubs and do some other activity. Want to go for trekking, want to go for swimming. One want to other. It's called extracurricular activities. So the word extracurricular clearly says extra means extra. We should keep it extra. That means there is some other main activity for which one joins the college. And the main activity is to graduate from the college. Similarly, for all of us jivas in this world, our main duty is to graduate out of this world and go back to Goloka. Bhuloka to Goloka. That's the main duty. But we are allowed to do extracurricular activities if we are interested. But that should, those activities should be sanctioned and sanctified. These are two conditions. Say, for example, I want to eating vegetarian food, it is sanctioned. But if it is offered to Krishna, it is sanctified. In that way we can do. For example, your child may tell the parents that I don't want to play inside the car. Look at the beautiful ocean beach, I want to play. Okay, you can play in the ocean beach, but promise me that you will not go into the ocean. And child gives a promise to parents. So inside the car, it is called Vihita Karma, prescribed duty. Playing in the seashore is called Kamya Karma, desired activities. The living being may desire to do something other than what he is told to do. But if he is permitted, that is called Kamya Karma. And entering into ocean, Nishiddha Karma, prohibited activity. So there are three activities. So white zone, grey zone, black zone. So devotees should always prefer to do white activities, which is prescribed by Guru and Krishna. But we have some pleasurable things we want to do also, which Guru has not told us to do, which is not prohibited in the Shastra. That is called grey activities. So then one may do Kamya Karma, but one should not go to Nishiddha Karma. Now, for example, the cowherd boys now, they are going to forest and the parents may not mind seeing them playing all day, provided they take care of the cows. Because they are cowherd boys, correct now? So they have to take care of the cows. That's the responsibility entrusted by the parents. Along with that, they can also play. But playing should not interfere with the responsibility entrusted. That should be remembered. Just like all of us, when you come to ISKCON society, you take initiation, you have a new name. So you follow 4 regulative principles and chant 16 rounds. That's the main duty. But one can do other activities without breaking the 4 regulative principles and without compromising on 16 rounds. One shouldn't say, oh, I'm distributing so many books that, I'm unable to complete my 16 rounds. We can't say that. We have to complete 16 rounds. Yeah. Or some people may say that, oh, I am preaching so vigorously, I have so many online programs and so many people, I have no time to go to temple for associating with devotees. I have no time to attend the morning Mangalarti. Mangalarti time also I am having programs. Even the whole morning time, some people are having multiple programs without taking in, they are giving out. Without taking in, if we keep on giving out, we will get exhausted and we will have no substance. So there should be a balance between Janmasartaka Kori, Kara Para Upakar. There should be a balance between the two. So, therefore, the cowherd boys felt that we have neglected our duty. And therefore, the cows are missing now. And they were feeling repentant now. Another thing in the previous verse, as you heard about this Karandantaha, they were crying. Forest fire made them thirsty and they were crying out in distress, the cows. That is similar to devotees who have left the company of Krishna in the spiritual world and they have come to the material world. And here we are crying. Fortunately, our crying is transformed into a spiritual cry when Guru gives us the Maha Mantra. When we get Maha Mantra, shouting, we are shouting Rama, we are shouting. Isn't it? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Guru is teaching us, don't simply cry out of pain, chant the holy name and cry for Krishna. So therefore, similarly the cows when they are crying, it's a spiritual call they are giving to Krishna. Oh Lord, where are you? Oh, our cowherd boy masters, where are you? We have somehow or other turned away from you and come into this Ishikatavi forest, a forest of canes, and we have become trapped in this fire on all sides. We don't know how to come out. So therefore, this fire also represents samsara davanala, the forest fire of material existence. So we are exactly like those cows. We have turned away from Krishna and Goloka. We have come here. We have become trapped in this forest fire of material life, in this material world. Sometimes the material world is compared to a forest fire. At other times it's compared to an ocean. It's called as samsara sagara. Why it is called a sagar? Because sagar, you don't know where it is beginning, where the ocean is beginning, where the ocean is ending, you can't say. It's very vast. Similarly, this birth and death is going on and on. We don't know when it will end. Another reason it is called the ocean, because ocean is very deep. We may not be able to swim. We may get tired. Similarly, in this world also, even the best of the swimmers cannot swim in the ocean for a long time. Because we are not a water creature. We are actually a creature of the land. So, in the same manner, people in material world suffer, definitely. It's a tukalayam, it is. Like sharks and timingalas are there, whales are there in the water. Similarly, in this world, many dangers come our way. There are many cheaters, there are many thieves, there are many looters, there are many people who may harm us. So we have many type of dangers in this world. Padam padam yat vipadam. Our body is so fragile, it can be subjected to an accident if you are careless in driving. Sometimes the devotees sleep very late at night, 11 o'clock, and then quickly they get up next day morning so they can complete their chanting. So between 4 to 6, they finish chanting. And then they think, now let me drive back in the early morning, and once we go home, we can relax. But while driving, they doze. When they're driving, they doze, and there's a terrible accident. They don't reach home at all. They may die on the way. So therefore, one should be very careful in doing any activity. So the material world is such a dangerous place. One can be subjected to accident or disease also. So in this way, once you come to this world, we are like these cows. Because right now the cows don't know how to go on their own. That's the problem. They have somehow, they've entered into, you may ask a question, the same way they entered into this forest, why can't they return by the same way? They can't, because they're attached to grass. That's a problem. When we come in this world, we develop so many attachments. We may not want to give up those attachments so easily unless a guru comes in our life, gives the Maha Mantra, gives the teachings, purifies our heart, elevates our consciousness. Then we will drop everything and will be willing to go back to Godhead. So, in this way, they were crying, and then cowherd boys also became responsible now. Trinaistat kuradat chinnair Goshpadair Ankitair Gavam Margam Anvagaman Sarve Nashta Jivya Vichetasaha. Yeah. Then the boys began tracing out the cow's path by noting their hoof prints and the blades of grass the cows had broken with their hooves and teeth. Which means the boys are very intelligent boys, they are Krishna's devotees, they are smart, very smart. They saw the footprints of the cows, and they also saw where the grass was half cut, because that means they put their mouth and eaten. So they could immediately understand these are the places where they've eaten the grass. And then they were in great anxiety. And then as they proceeded, you will see there are a few more verses here. It's called Munja forest. Munja forest is a bamboo forest. Finally, they found the cows. Boys were also very thirsty and tired and herded the cows back home. So here, the Lord is telling them, when the Ta ahuta bhagavata mega gambira yagira swanamnam ninadam shrutva pratinedu praharshitaha. Prabhuji, somebody can read the translation, please?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead called out to the animals in a voice that resounded like a rumbling cloud. Hearing the sound of their own names, the cows were overjoyed and called out to the Lord in reply.
So Lord calls both by his flute, sometimes by his mouth also, like you see here. After all these things, now they are saying here. See now, coward boy is searching the cows, they're coming. See, Krishna is going first. Coward boys are following behind. They are all worried now. Where are the cows? Oh, fire, they're saying. See, this is another demon sent by Kamsa, whom you are seeing. So he's going round and round and putting fire on all sides. His goal is to burn the forest on all sides and thereby burn down all the coward boys. That is his plan, including Krishna Balram. See, he is jumping from one tree to another, you can see here. See, all the cows are in the middle, red hot. See, now he has put fire to practically all the trees. See, he is jumping from one tree to another. And Krishna why is he playing on the flute? Because he is giving them assurance. Don't worry, I am here, don't fear. Ma bhaishta, you will say. Don't fear. See, even all of us in our spiritual lives, if you are regularly practicing Krishna consciousness for many years, at a certain stage comes when we are cleansing the anarthas. At that time, you will become very confident in spiritual life. It is not that you have to see Krishna eye to eye. Even before that, you develop full confidence that Krishna is there for me and Krishna is waiting for me. I will go back to him and I'll simply faithfully follow the orders of the spiritual master. I'll live by the scriptures and I don't have to do anything extraneous. This chanting Hare Krishna itself is alone. Just chant Hare Krishna. Don't offend any devotees and faithfully render some service. Be genuine in your approach. Don't do any kind of duplicitous behavior. And I'll go back to Krishna. That confidence will come in spiritual life. Why? Because that means Krishna has started reciprocating with such a devotee. A devotee gets strong conviction. So when Anartha Nivritti is complete, then we get Nishtha stage. So in my series of seminars from the book Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, I had done one series called Shaky to Steady seminars. I think it's 5 or 6. And those chapters of that book Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani by Swarneshwaram Swami, beautiful chapters. So they teach us how to go from the stage of Anartha Nivritti to Nishtha. Anartha Nivritti is shaky stage. Nishtha is steady. Sattva-guna. So in this way, when we go to the Nishtha stage, a devotee will develop great confidence in Krishna, in Krishna's protection. See here, Krishna is playing on the flute. And they all became very confident now. Cows are listening now. Wow, wonderful. Yes, we are surrounded by fire. We are worried, but now we have no more worry. Why? Our master has come. He is playing on the flute and giving us hope. Don't worry, I am here. So the cows became very happy. See, cows are running to Krishna, all of them. They're going. See, all the coward boys are embracing the cow. Krishna is very happy. The coward boys got their cows back. Now, see, Krishna is watching. Where is this fire coming from? They are all watching at the top. They're watching. He saw, oh, here is a fiery demon. He's the one who is creating that fire. Krishna watched. He's jumping. And Krishna saw that. Oh, he's jumping from one tree to another and creating fire all over. Now Krishna is going to swallow the forest fire. That's the next thing. So he's telling all the friends now. I'll show you the shloka now. Tatas samantat davadhuma ketur yadrichaya bhut kshayakrit vanaukasam samirita saratinol banol mukhair Vile Vilelihana Stiri Jangaman Mahan. You can read the translation, please.
Suddenly a great forest fire appeared on all sides, threatening to destroy all the forest creatures. Like a chariot driver, the wind swept the fire onward, and terrible sparks shot in all directions. Indeed, the great fire extended its tongues of flame toward all moving and non-moving creatures.
Yeah, like a chariot driver, it's because that fellow was jumping from one tree to another, proceeding ahead. Yeah. Tamapatantam paritodavagnim gopascha gavaha prasamiksha bhitaha ochuscha krishnam sabalam prapanna yata harim mrittubraya bhayardita janaha. See, all of them, Krishnam sabalam prapanna. They took shelter of Krishna and Balaram. Who? Gopascha gavaha. The Gopas and the cows. Prasamikshya, by observing the great fire, Davagnim, Bhitaha, they got frightened. My Lord, it appears we have got trapped on all four sides. There is no way to escape from here. Now you all may have a question. Why do the boys want to escape? Are they afraid of life like ordinary jivas? That's not the correct understanding. The coward boys want to maintain their lives so that they'll be available to serve Krishna. They always fear that if we die, then who will take care of Krishna? Because Krishna is our friend, he depends on us, he will cry without us. So we have to live. That is their consciousness. So that desire to live is to serve Krishna. That's the correct desire. Like for example, we all can sleep at night nicely. Why? So that we can be fresh next day morning to serve Krishna. We all can eat prasadam. Why? So that we can get energy to serve Krishna. So it's not wrong to desire to eat or sleep, provided the goal is to serve Krishna. The goal is not for one's own satisfaction. So therefore they are all tam apatantam parito davagnim. They saw the great danger, impending danger. So how they, what did yata harim mrityu bhayardita janaha. If somebody is afflicted by sudden danger, how one will take shelter of Lord Hari? Like that they took shelter of Krishna. Krishna Krishna Mahavira He Rama Mogha Vikrama Davagnina Dahyamanan Prapannam Stratum Arhataha. 2 times they are calling Krishna, Krishna in great ecstasy. Hey Rama, hey Balaram, they are calling. So they are calling him as Amogha Vikrama. You see, your power is never thwarted. Hey Krishna, Krishna, most powerful one. Oh Balaram, you whose prowess never fails, please save your devotees who are about to be burned in this forest fire. We have come to take shelter of you. So in this way, when they take shelter of Krishna, Krishna will speak now. Shri Shukavacha Vacho Nishamya Kripanam Bandhunam Bhagavan Harihi Nimilayatama Bhaishta Lochanani Ityabhashata. See what Krishna is telling here. He is telling Vacho Nishamya Kripanam. He is saying that when Krishna heard the pitiful cry of his devotees, Bandhunam, Bhagavan, Hari, Lord Krishna, Lord Hari, when he heard their calling, you know what he told them? Nimilayata, close your eyes, he told them. Ma bhaishta, and don't fear. So 2 instructions he gave them. Close your eyes and don't fear. Now, imagine you have fire all around you and somebody you call for help. They come there and tell you, you close your eyes, I'll put out the fire. Will you be ready? Because we may think that if I close my eyes, what if fire catches me from behind? So you may tell them, okay, you put out the fire, I'll keep watching how you are putting off. We may say that, is it not true? And this is the beauty of the coward boys. Despite such great danger all around them, they close their eyes. And Krishna told them, Ma Bahishta, don't fear. So he is saying, Nimilayata Lochanani. Lochanani means your eyes. Close your eyes, he told them. And don't fear, I will do the needful. And he did that. Krishna did that. And they didn't fear. Tateti militaksheshu Bhagavan Agnimulbanam Pitva Mukhena Tan Krichrat Yogadisho Vyamochayat. All right, the boys replied, and immediately they closed their eyes. This goes to show their faith in Krishna, you see. Then the Supreme Lord, the Master of all mystic power, opened his mouth and swallowed the terrible fire, saving all his friends from the danger. Like you see what Krishna is going to do now. He's watching. Some coward men have seen it now. Now they will also show, and they'll start coming running also to forest. Okay, now this is a fiery demon. See, Krishna is watching face to face to that fiery demon. Now the fiery demon is afraid. Oh, now I want to finish Krishna and his friends, but all the coward boys are now flat on the ground now because of the heat. They couldn't bear that heat. Only Krishna is standing alone. See what Krishna is going to do now. He's going to suck. See, he swallowed the forest fire like this. After the coward boys closed their eyes. See here. Swallowed. Everything was finished. Little by little, everything, including the demon, he swallowed also. See, demon is also going inside Krishna's mouth now. Now that's all. Everything is inside his belly now. And then he is waking up all the coward boys. Get up, nothing to worry now. And they are all coming out of the forest. All the coward men are coming. Now they are all meeting Krishna, Balaram, Yashoda, everybody. So this is a beautiful pastime it is. But there is a very great, one more lesson here. You see, what is the samsara davanala? Why there is forest fire in the material world? Because in the material world, all the attractive things are dangerous for us. For example, I have seen small kids in India demanding cocoa chocolates. In America, they call it as M&M. What do they call in New Zealand, in Wellington? You know cocoa chocolates? Prabhu, they call it cocoa chocolates only?
Yeah, we have M&M also here, Prabhuji.
M&M, yeah. So, the children are fond of M&M, but it's not very good for the teeth. Teeth may fall away if one regularly eats too much of that. But somehow or other, children don't like to eat fruits. Parents want to give them fruits. They only want to eat M&M. You will see that. So, in the same manner, you will find in the material world, whatever is not good for us is very attractive. Like a moth is attracted to fire, but the fire is the place of death for the moth. Similarly, the jivas are all attracted to very dangerous things in this material world, which are, therefore, it's compared to fire in the material world. Fire is actually pain-producing, but that's what they like. They want to indulge in sense gratification, which is pain-producing. And Krishna consciousness is bliss-producing, but they don't want Krishna consciousness. They want pain-producing material engagements. Like for example, a small boy, like when I was a small kid, my mother took me to market. She wanted to buy an apple for me. I showed her apple balloon. There's a big apple balloon. I told mother, I want that. Mother said, what will you do with that, beta? Why don't you take this apple? This will give you nourishment to the body. It's healthy. I said, I don't want this apple. I want that apple. That looks very big and attractive. I was very adamant. So she purchased for me. Before I reached home, it burst off. What will you do with such a balloon, apple balloon? So apple balloon is maya, foolishness to get that. But that's what children like because it's glittering in their eyes. Same manner, at each age bracket, we all are attracted to many perishable commodities in this world, which are compared to the forest fire, which are often dangerous for us. Similarly, one day my father returned from the night from the shop. So generally I used to go and open his bag and see what he has brought today. He'll bring some fruits or something. So one day I found naphthalene balls, First time in my life I saw what a naphthalene ball is. I didn't know what it is meant for. All shining naphthalene balls, big size. I immediately picked up the packet, I tore it open and took 4 in each hand. And I was running. I was a small kid. I was thinking I'll sit in one corner and eat it, So my mother came running behind me. She saw what I'm doing. She caught hold of a collar and snatched all the 8 naphthalene balls from my hand. I asked, Mom, why are you doing this? It's very fragrant and very bright looking. She said, what are you talking? This is dangerous for you. This is only for the cockroaches, she said. I was wondering, really, you give this beautiful chocolate to the cockroaches? Not to me. Why are you so bad? You are giving them, not to me. She said, this is poison, she said. I couldn't recognize it's poison. Because asatyara satya korimani, we say, we take the dangerous things as very pleasurable and dear to ourselves. Therefore, this material world is a dangerous place. So, for example, this is especially talking about sex life, attraction for the opposite sex. Like when a man is young, he's attracted to the member of the opposite sex, he's attracted to a woman. So that is like fire. So the Shastras say that Ravana should not look at Sita with the mentality of enjoying. Rather, he should be satisfied with Mandodari. That is the proper conduct for Ravana. But Ravana did not listen to the good advice. He got burnt away. He got destroyed. In the same manner, all of us are looking towards Maya in various forms. Dhanam, Janam, Sundaram, various things. But Krishna is here saying, close your eyes, he's saying. That means when we come to Krishna consciousness, Krishna is telling, close your eyes to Maya. If you do so, what will happen? You know what happened to covered boys? When they close their eyes and they lie down on the ground, which you saw in the picture, they were seeing beautiful, colorful pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. They saw Krishna dancing on Kaliya. They saw Krishna lifting Govardhan hill. They saw Krishna stealing butter. And they were smiling happily. This is what will happen to all of us sadhana bhaktas. If we close our eyes to Maya faithfully and then chant Hare Krishna and read the Shastra, we will relish beautiful, sweet pastimes of Krishna in our hearts. But many a times what happens, even after we come to devotional service, we have a tendency to little bit Krishna consciousness, little bit Maya also. Again, little bit Krishna, again, little bit Maya. It's like taking the firewood, sprinkling some water. Again, taking firewood, sprinkling water. Therefore, we get smoke. We don't get only fire. That is the problem. But these covered boys had full faith in Krishna, firm faith. And Krishna said, Nimi layada. He said, close your eyes. Immediately they closed their eyes. So that is the meaning of Diksha. Diksha means obedience to Guru. Guru says, Narmani told Mrigari, break your bow. Mrigari asked, really? This is my livelihood. Narad said, I will send you a livelihood. Guru said. He immediately broke the bow. And Prabhupada says, breaking the bow of Brigari is equivalent to a disciple taking the vow of following the four regulative principles. He says, Guru has told, so I will follow it faithfully. So if you faithfully complete our 16 rounds of chanting and follow the four regs, study Prabhupada books and close our eyes to Maya, that means no to Maya and yes to Krishna. When we do that, then very soon we will see beautiful pastimes of Krishna in our heart and attain Krishna's lotus feet, and we'll be saved from this dangerous world of fire, samsara davanal, and we'll return back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. That was again very informative and instructive lecture. Taking that pastime, you have given so many practical points for implementation. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Do you have some time for question and answers, Prabhuji?
5 minutes, we can take question and answers, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Parjanya Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for such a nice class.
Thank you.
My question that you talked about some bad propensity in like becoming independent and while describing
Yes.
this verse 10.9.1. So my question
Yes.
is that most of the time, we may not have access to our Diksha Guru for guidance.
Yeah.
I've heard that in Pune temple, devotees are making very nice progress in the counselor and mentor system. So can you please explain the importance of mentor counsel system in our spiritual progress?
Yeah, what we generally do, Prabhu, after a person comes to Krishna consciousness and takes Diksha and then continues spiritual life, we find that some 10% of the people, they take their own initiative in preaching, So when they preach and bring people, if they have exceeded 10, 16 rounders under them, more than 10, 16 rounders, then we have a training program called the Art of Counseling. It is a 12 session course. Currently, I'm doing it in Hindi. I'll be doing it in English also. So in this 12 session course, we have 1.5 hours of training, which I speak, and another 1.5 hours, one Prabhuji Mataji, husband, wife will give question answers. Total of 3 hours. So we do it every Sunday. For 12 sessions we do. And these people are all trained, and then they will be declared as counselors. So now we are training about 80 counselors like that. So they all will complete this course and write an exam. And they will do a Viva Voce also. After that, they will be called as counselors. Each counselor has about 10, 16 rounders under them to begin with. And they may take up to 40 people under them. So 40, 60 nowadays, which means husband, wife will be about 20 couples. 20, 25 couples they can handle on an average. Somebody can maybe able to handle more also, but this is the average. And what do they do with them? We have very clear-cut teachings. One of the goals of this counselor system is to build relationships with each other and with the counselor also. It's a small family, we can say, building relationships. And it is also for training the people inside. Also, the counselor takes 2 classes in a month, where only for the group of people he may teach. And after every 3 sessions, the counselor will be calling another friend of his, another counselor he will bring for variety. So we have 25% variety and 70% same counselor gives class like that. Like that, out of 4 classes in a month, one will be 2 classes in 1 month, next 2 classes, one of the class will be given to another person. So in this way, he trains in Sadachar, Sadhana, Swadhyay, all those training program. And also he will make sure that all his people undergo Bhakti Shastri training, And he also invites brahmacharis sometimes to come and give classes. Like I go to many of the groups, whenever they call me, I go. We do programs. Sometimes I combine a few groups and I give classes also. And a Vyuha group is actually like 5, 6 counselors combined and call me to some hall where I'll give a program for them. That kind of thing also we do. I go 2 times to each group generally. Before Janmashtami I go, and after book marathon, to appreciate and give off prizes. I go for that. So, and in this way, the counselor groups go on. And also, what is the purpose of having a counselor? The people under him may be having interpersonal problem with some people, or they may have health issues. Sometimes they may have their parents or relatives are not allowing them to practice Krishna consciousness. They may have difficulty in dealing with them. Sometimes they have difficulty in the service given from the temple. They may want to have different seva. Sometimes they may have philosophical doubts. They may want to ask. So all these problems are solved if they are in a counselor group. And the counselor group is like a very wonderful spiritual family. Actually, we have been having it since 95. Currently we have 60 counselors. Eventually, we are preparing another 70, 80 counselors for the future. So that when these counselors are getting old, now out of the 60 people, we have more than 30, 35 of them are above the age of 60 now. Above 55, 60, they are approaching. So we thought that they are getting old now, so we need to bring the younger generation as a succession to the older group. So they are coming up now. We are training them now. So we actually, once I do it all in English, I'll be uploading it in my site when I do it in English. Currently, Hindi is being done very well. Out of 12, I have finished almost 10. Only 2 more left. And I'll be uploading it in my channel. It will be the same name, Art of Counseling in Hindi and Art of Counseling in English. English I'll be doing probably in the next 1 or 2 months, I'll be starting the course. It will be Sunday. And our timing will be 11 to 1:30. It is 2.5 hours. I don't know what time it will be for all of you. If you are any of your community, your local authorities choose some people to join this course, I can keep informed to Ambrish Prabhu. Ambrish Prabhu may inform you. And if you wish to, any of your leaders wish to join the training program in English, you can join. So in this way, the council system is such a beautiful system. It's like a network, tree network, Like we have the temple, like I'm president in Pune, we have a 8-member TMC. And then below that, we have the counselor board. And each counselor has total of, in Pune, we have 6,000 community members. And I don't have to bother at all. If anybody in our community has any problem, I will not talk to them. I will directly call the counselor. I will say that your counselor has a problem. So-and-so has dealt with so-and-so, please deal with it. And they will finish the problem. They are all very mature people. And I also take many training programs for the leaders, as I told you before. So having seasoned devotees in the top is so valuable. Very, very valuable. And they have many committees also. Nowadays, we have professional job awarding committees also. They give jobs for the devotees in many companies. They give interview opportunity, and then interview done. Many people get placed very easily in jobs. Similarly, we have marriage bureau, one committee also. Any boy, girl want to marry, you just register the marriage bureau in a Google form. Very easily, they will get a match for them. So we have like that. In the same manner, we have also committees for Like somebody, husband, wife want to beget a child. They want advice on Garbhadan Sanskar. There are specialized devotees who have books, materials, they give advice like that. We have a CRC, Conflict Resolution Committee. If any husband, wife have a tussle and it's leading to divorce, then the CRC, Conflict Resolution Committee, will help them out. If they want help, they will give help also. They are actually professionally qualified people, but they are devotees also, both ways. So they will help them to be Krishna conscious, continue. So they will give many valuable ideas like that. Like that, we have multiple committees also, and also parenting, training. So different people do different things. It's like oceanic activity. Plenty of things are there. But counseling, I can tell you, this was originally started by His Holiness Ranath Maharaj way back in 93 when I was in Bombay. Maharaj found it very difficult in the early days to set it rolling because many people were not conducting meetings regularly. But eventually Maharaj made it sure. Maharaj told, if you people don't do these meetings, the whole burden of community is coming on my shoulders, Maharaj said. He told them. And then he gave the example. Prabhupada says in one letter, one guru will take care of 10 disciples, and those 10 disciples will take care of 10 each. You know, in this way, guru could take care of 100 disciples. Like you hear, Durvasa Muni was going with 60,000 disciples. You hear how he can take care of so many people, because he had the same counselor system. The prominent people he'll give time, and the other people will be guided by those people. And I have a whole PowerPoint on many Prabhupada's letters, where Prabhupada says the younger devotee should take guidance from elder devotees. Everybody should not come to me. Prabhupada says that. So I would suggest you to read one book by His Holiness Niranjan Swami Maharaj. It's called as Caring for Krishna's Devotees. That book will give you a lot of information about it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Radheshyam. I think that was a very good answer, as well as I'm looking forward to hearing your class on like the series of classes on the counseling system. So when you are starting, if we are informed, then we can also, some of the devotees can join that.
Yes, Prabhu. There will be form and everything. They will ask you to fill up, and they will. What we will do is we will send the form to you, and you can identify the eligible candidates, and I will connect you to the top organizer.
Yes, Prabhu.
Who is he creates a platform for me, so I go and join that. I'll be giving. I will inform you as soon as we are having the plan, Prabhu.
Thank you.
And I also have many other programs lined up today. I am very thankful to all of you, Ambrish Prabhu and others who are in the organization board. And you all are super enthusiastic and very sincere in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's the only qualification you need. If you have the eagerness to hear, you are in the right track in advancing in spiritual life. Then once you are eager in hearing the katha, then your heart will become softened. When heart is softened, the chanting of the holy name will become inoffensive. When the holy name chanting is inoffensive, then feelings will start arising in the heart for Krishna, devotees, and devotional service and everything. And then devotional service will no more be mechanical. It will become very joyful, most relishable. We can put our heart in whatever we do in devotional service. Every moment will be like a blissful moment. Anandambudi vardhanam prati padam purna amrita swadanam, we say, no? So I pray that Lord Krishna, here we have Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra in Pune. They bless. I'll show you who they are. I'll just show you just now. This is Radha Vrindavan. So Radha Vrindavan Chandra may bless you all with pure devotional service, and you continue very wonderfully. And I also thank you for the opportunity you gave me to remind myself of this beautiful 10th canto pastimes. They transport us to Vrindavan Dham when we read this wonderful pastimes. And next year I'll be taking this whole 10th canto for a group of Bhakti Vedanta students. I'm planning to do all the 90 chapters of the 10th canto. Therefore, I have been studying also. This is one of my most favorites. And I don't know how Ambrish Prabhu chose this particular pastime. This is one of my most favorite pastime. I speak to devotees in Pune. This one and Aghasura and Kalia, these three are my favorites. Thank you for the opportunity. When you gave me the topic, I felt it's like somebody is giving me a nice gulab jamun in a vessel. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam pastimes are very nectarian. And I also did Demons in Vrindavan Leela. I did the complete 21 demons I explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I did as a series. So I had these pictures to share with you. I think you all must have enjoyed the pastime pictures also, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji, it was wonderful.
It brings immediately the pastime to light very wonderfully. So when you all are coming to India, you are welcome to visit our Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Temple. It's called NVCC, we call it, New Vedic Cultural Center.
It's
So
a beautiful temple.
tell Ambarish Prabhu that you're coming and he will shoot a mail to me. We have a 50-room guest house. You can stay. On the morning program, we have 300-400 devotees every morning for the Mangalarati program. There's chanting, dancing. It's like you feel you are in spiritual world. It'll be very, very wonderful. All of you welcome. When you come to India, please don't miss. Please definitely come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your time as well as for your blessings and your instructions. We are very grateful for your time in your busy schedule. So let us show our appreciation for Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra once again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We are looking forward to hearing from you.
Evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai. Radheshyam Prabhuji ki Jai.